Greetings everybody, I hope that you guys are good. Let's quickly have a look at Nasdaq 100 and we are on the monthly chart as you guys can see, and at this point in time I would say that Nasdaq 100 is very much mixed, and the reason why I say so is because if you recall the last time we spoke I had spoken about how we had this W structure over here which had a neckline at this point, right? To add to that, we had also had an opposing structure in the form of an M formation at this point, which similarly has a neckline at this point, right? Since then price has somewhat progressed, and at that time the anticipation was that the market would potentially respect the neckline of this W structure, but we can see that if I can just zoom in a bit, we can see that currently price has closed below this level over here, which is the neckline of, as I said, this very nice W structure that I spoke about, right? Just to zoom out a bit, as I said guys, we have this huge M structure, right, which has a neckline at this point, and ideally what I would love to see happen next is for the market to close below the zone, and if it does close below that zone, the anticipation is that the market would head up to the neckline to test it, and at the neckline is where we would look for potential selling opportunities, and our take profit should be more or less this area over here, and that is if the market does close below this level on the H4 chart, right? If I can just zoom in again, as much as we have this bigger structure over here, can you guys also see that we have a smaller M structure over here, right, with this side being the first leg of that M structure and this side being the second leg, and we can see that the neckline more or less is at this point over here, right? If you can just go to the H1 chart, we can see that actually the neckline of this huge M structure is at this point, and it hasn't really been closed, or rather it hasn't really broken to the bottom side of that neckline, right? However, should price close below the neckline, similarly we would wait for the market to head back to the neckline to test it, and at the neckline is where we would look for potential selling opportunities. Having said all that guys, as things stand, in my humble opinion, the market, as much as I say that it is quite mixed, it is, in my humble opinion, also bearish, and we expect the market to push further down, right? Another reason why I say I expect the market to push further down is the fact that we have at this point that candlestick. It is a bearish candlestick with a relatively small body and a long lower wick, which tells us that there's a lot of liquidity sitting at this point, and as you guys know by now, liquidity represents money that needs to be triggered by, or rather triggered at one point or another. So in as far as buying or selling opportunities go at this point, I don't see any. However, I would say that we should be looking for potential selling opportunities, especially once price closes below this level over here, which is the neckline of this huge M structure, right? And just to go back to the H4 chart again, remember that on the H4 chart we also have this huge M structure over here, which similarly has a neckline at this point, and should price close below this neckline, ideally we would love to see it hit back to the neckline to test it, and at the neckline is where we would look for potential selling opportunities, and I believe that our take profit should be at this zone more or less. Can you guys see that? Just don't confuse this M structure with that smaller M structure that we have over here on the H1 chart, right? Anyway, that is it as far as my analysis goes, and peace out.